Hi, I'm Joe Ross from Fresno State, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how my CURE course this spring transitioned to virtual during COVID-19. Please check out some of my writing at my blog, cureexpert.blogspot.com. So this is the lab course that I coordinate, Biology 104, Cell Biology and Genetics Lab. And like many of you, we had to pivot quickly in the middle of the semester to online or virtual lab experiences. And unfortunately, because at that point the student groups had just started collecting data, and because this is a cure and there's no existing data set for the types of projects that these students were piloting, there were not very many options of how to proceed. Because we wanted to be able to leverage the skills and the knowledge that the students had amassed in preparation for their experiments to continue through the rest of the semester. So we decided to do something that I'm not professionally proud of, but what we asked the students to do was to falsify or make up a data set that they thought they would collect during the semester and that would support the hypothesis that they had put forth. And so the students, even though they falsified data, and we did provide ethical instruction about the fact that that is not something that's acceptable, the students were able to complete the process of design a hypothesis, conduct an experiment of sorts, and then be able to interpret their data. So for example, here we've got a student group that using falsified data were able to learn how to conduct a t-test, how to plot data, and how to conduct ANOVA analyses, for example. Even despite our approach to pivoting to virtual lab experiences, there were a number of positive outcomes. In this class, because I'm undertaking ongoing human subjects research with this cure, we are conducting surveys at the end of every semester. So at the end of spring, we took a look at some of the survey results, and it turns out that a vast majority of students either agreed or strongly agreed, despite the pivot, that they would recommend that cure style of course to their friends, that this type of course should occur earlier in the undergraduate curriculum than in the junior and senior year, which is when this course is held. And really critically, that this course had a positive effect on their interest in science. And this was from a sample of 80 students in this class. Another important thing to note is in this class, we typically serve about 100 majors in 5 different sections of 3 hours, meeting once per week. And what this means for our department is that we don't have the physical space or time to facilitate traditional biology cures, where students often need to be in the lab once a day or once every other day to take care of organisms or to conduct other sorts of experiments. And so traditionally, we've had these sorts of comments from students about the traditional or live cure approach, that the ability of them to schedule time in the lab could be improved, and that there are resource limitations like access to microscopes, PCR machines, and other sorts of expensive equipment. So those were some things that virtual pivot solved, essentially. We didn't have resource limitations and there were no time limitations. I'd like to conclude by mentioning that I presented a very similar version of this presentation at the OLC Ideate Labs for Online STEM conference this past summer, and it's got free registration and it's available all the time from now until forever. So if you're interested in some of the presentations that were given there, which were all about online virtual course and lab activities for STEM, I suggest that you go register. It's free, and then you have access to all of the voice thread and Zoom recordings from all of the sessions. It's a great resource. And I also want to mention that it was put together by some of our CSU colleagues, including JP Bayard from Sac State and Jerry Hanley from Long Beach. Also, I do feel it professionally incumbent that I should mention, even though I asked the students to do something unethical in this pivot, I am also participating in the Ethics Network for Course-Based Opportunities in Undergraduate Research, or ENCORE program, that's being run through UTEP right now. And this is their website. It's got great resources for incorporating the training of students in ethics and the responsible conduct of research in CURE classes. And this coming year, my cohort, I'm one of the faculty fellows in this funded cohort, are going to be developing and then testing some modules for training undergraduates in responsible conduct of research in CURE classes. So please watch out for that. And I'm also, again, not the only CSU faculty member involved in that. Kelly McDonald from Sac State is also involved. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're well and safe.